Hello, and welcome to another episode of Product and Cake. Today, as always, we are in the virtual recording studio. And here with me is Paul. How you doing, Paul?
I am super happy, and this time I checked that we are also recording with video. So if you want to see our tired faces very close to a cold, then check out YouTube, or maybe we will also do it on Spotify.
Yeah.
Right? I heard Spotify is now able to do videos. How are you, Ghonche?
I'm good. I'm not very well presented right now with the hair in a bun, just wearing a old jumper, but I'm really excited for the topic that we are going to talk about.
Same for me.
But before that, we have a check-in question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This time I came up with a check-in question because I want to talk about something. So the question is, what is your favorite fruit?
Ooh, my favorite fruit? Yeah, definitely. I think my favorite fruit is orange. Especially now in winter times, they are again really tasty. There are also very nice orange subscriptions. I recently had that. I got that as a present from my sister. Thank you very much, Clara. Where I got a full box of oranges, I think last year for my birthday.
That's cool.
I love to peel them, and then you have this big fruit that's super fruity. I enjoy eating them a lot.
Nice.
Yeah. What is your favorite one?
Also a citrus. It's pomelo.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. I think I also really like oranges, but they are too juicy for me. And pomelo is more dry.
Yeah, I just wanted to say pomelos are too dry for me.
Yeah, and I also like the ritual of pomelo because it is really hard to get into it. Like you need to take the huge layers of the skin off, and then the skin is really, really bitter. So you need to try hard to get to the nice part, and that gives me a nice challenge. I just realized that I like to challenge myself even many times to eat my favorite fruit.
Nice.
Yeah. But it's also really yummy.
And you get the reward for all the hard work.
Yes. Now I cannot wait to go eat a pomelo.
Yeah, and maybe that is a very nice transition, because for our topic today, you also need to find something you can't wait for, right? Yes. Something that is over there, and let us go in this direction because it is there.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good transition if people knew what we are going to talk about.
I hope that you are introducing us now.
Yeah, so we are going to talk about vision and the product vision and mission when we are moving forward. And so how can we define product goals? How can we align our product goals with the company objectives? So this is a little bit of a bigger and overarching aspect of what we are going to talk about. And it's not going to, as always, it's not going to be only in one episode, but in multiple episodes, we are going to deep dive completely in product strategy and road mapping.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think roadmap is another big topic. Let us maybe start with setting product vision and goals.
Yep.
And when we define that one, maybe in the next episode, we can also talk about the differences. Because if you want to start this whole setup of giving your team or your whole company, your startup project, a tangible vision, then you should define upfront or come up with a very clear idea. What is the vision, right? Is the vision something you can reach or you can never reach? Is it something like a stretch goal, or is it more like the North Star or an idea, right? I mean, I saw a lot of different definitions for vision.
Yeah.
What is yours, Ghonche?
So I divide a little bit the company's vision with the product vision. I believe product vision needs to guide us, needs to be far enough to take us forward, but it doesn't need to be something aspirational that will never be achieved. So solving, for example, the world hunger can be a great vision for the company, but it cannot be a product vision. In my perspective, product vision needs to be more tangible than that. It needs to motivate us, it needs to guide us, but it should not be unattainable.
Yeah, I totally agree. And do you have an idea on how, or do you define how long a vision is valid?
Depends. Sometimes I have, and sometimes there has been time that I said, oh, this is in general our product vision, unless we know something is going to change. Because the vision can be, as I said, the vision can be blurry. The strategy cannot be. The strategy needs, in my perspective, needs a very clear time limit. How long do we follow this? Until when? And this when is not only a time bound thing, but it can also be when we reach this, we are going to change our strategy kind of thing. But it needs to have some kind of a very clear path to the path of the strategy. But sometimes for the vision, I have said that, yes, it's going to be our vision for the next couple of years to achieve this certain thing. And sometimes it is much more bigger than what we are doing in the next couple of years, and it is a little bit more ambitious. It is, again, not unattainable, but it is not a time-bound thing. Yeah. How about you, Paul? You're currently also, you told me that you are dealing with some goal setting and vision setting for your teams as well.
Yeah, we are living the OKR dream at the moment. And we talked a lot about that topic. I talked about that topic in a lot of different circumstances and situations with a lot of different type of teams. And I think you should, as a product manager, you definitely should think about the vision, right? With asking the questions, maybe from CPO or from the founder, or if there is nobody or they don't want to answer, then I really encourage everyone to come up with something. And from my experiences, it is much easier to say, hey, what about giving our team a vision for the next 12 months? And I would love to have a vision where everyone who reads it thinks, nice, slightly unrealistic, but nice. So Let me give you an example. I defined the vision for our product tech team here at the XU Group. We are building this online education platform, education as a service, as we call it now. Mm-hmm. And we were focusing very much on the administration stuff, on the scaling and platform and so on. And now we are shifting over to the learners. And we want to make the learning experience super, super great. And we gave ourselves the vision, make learning as addictive as TikTok. So everyone is saying, yeah, okay, I get the idea. It is not the same content. And also we don't have the engineering power like TikTok. But I think it gives you a clear is the wrong word. It gives you a blurry direction. Something like, nice. If I know from TikTok or from any other app you are addicted to, that you like to open it and you like to engage, you have a picture in your mind, and we can use that as an opener for our meetings to discuss further without, anyway, please, Ghonche. Yeah.
Even though I'm not the biggest fan of using the word addicted, it gives, so I have some issues with that. I think it is, we do not want to, addiction means that it's not for the benefit of the user. It means that the user does not have any more control over it, but the addiction has took over. And it's not good in any shape or form. But I understand at least the vision that you're sharing with me gives me an image. It tells me a story, and it helps me guide to understand the strategy better, because probably your strategy here is going to be on more short-term learning opportunities with more short and fast incentives, internal incentives. So this can be part of your strategy, and that already gives me a hint, even reading the vision. But I want to also paint a picture that if we imagine we are in a ship, and I really love water, I love ships, I love boats. So imagine we are on a boat, and there is a lighthouse in the far on an island, and we want to get there. That lighthouse and the light that shines towards us is the vision. That's where we want to get to. There are for sure roadblocks on our way to get to this island. But also at the same time, the captain of this ship says that, hey, in order to get there, we need to ration our food, and we cannot fight the, headwind of the north. So we need to slightly turn to the south and then come back again. After that other island, turn back towards the north. And these two things, like rationing our food, first going left and going right, this is the strategy. These are the tactics that are used for the strategy to get to the island. And whatever each team in the ship or on the boat is doing, that can be part of the their team goals that they have. So some team that is responsible for the engine, they understand the vision, they understand the tactics and the strategy that we have, that, hey, we need to ration our food, we are first going there and then going there. But also their team goals are a little bit more specific than that. They're not just gonna be, okay, then that's where we want to go, but they need to break it down for themselves and say, okay, the engine needs to run like this. We need to make sure that the engine gets fuels at this time of the days. So I'm not really sure exactly what needs to be done in the engine room, but there are very specific tasks that they need to do. Mm-hmm. I hope that painted a little bit of a picture. I actually used to have always one attached to my wall, but I think it fell down, so I cannot find it right now to show it.
Yeah, I can relate to that picture, but I also would like to add maybe a sense of humor or a sense of, hey, it is our product vision. Right? It is not the vision of the company. It will also not be printed in the investor relations deck. Yeah. It is not written in the entrance and so on, right? So bring in some fun. If you are the poor guy in the engine room who did nothing else than drawing screws or clean the machines in between or something, that is really something that have to be done, but is maybe not the most fulfilling thing, because you are not seeing the lighthouse all the time and getting the fresh wind. Then at least let's have some fun with our engineering colleagues, right? And it is also fine to put a joke or find something that is motivating the team, that is fitting into the culture, where everyone can say, yeah, okay, calling it addictive is maybe not the best thing you would like to post on LinkedIn, but we get what it means, right? And I mean, in our special case, also our learning platform, the usual learner gets the order from their manager, hey, you need to learn these 8 hours of content now. Come back when you are done. You have 5 hours of time. And it's not like that they enjoy being on the platform. And we want to change that. And
exactly. Yeah. I need to add a couple of things here. So we also mentioned that product vision and company vision are not the same thing. Here I need to add that I don't believe, some people might not agree, but I don't believe that product mission is necessary. There are missions defined in the life cycle of the product that, hey, this is the aim. We need to focus on this. We call it a mission. We can call it a task force. We can call it a focus group or whatever. But that mission is different than a product mission, which I don't believe should exist. And we do have a company mission, a purpose for the company to exist. What do we want to achieve in general? Next to a company vision, which is where we want to get to. But I don't believe a product mission needs to be there. So in my perspective, we need to have a product vision very clearly. We need to have product strategy. We need to have product goals. We need to have roadmaps to some extent. But mission is not something needed. And the product vision needs to be clear and simple to remember. So everyone in your team needs to, if this is something one of our C-levels used to say, that if I wake you up in the middle of the night, you need to be able to remember this still, which is to some extent fair. Of course, we are not in the military. No one is going to be waken up in the middle of the night and be asked to remember this. But the thought behind it is that it's simple and memorable. The second part is that it is creating a visual image in your head. It creates a picture in your head of the target. And the third thing is it is ambitious. It is motivating. But it is not unattainable. It is not impossible.
Yeah, definitely. And I would also add that there are different cultures, right? You can, maybe your team is working with a mission. You want to call it mission because you are more in the military stuff or roadmap or strategy. I'm kind of flexible, right? What I try to achieve always is to have a vision that is maybe more blurry and more in the future, but then having something super concrete, one level below with a time frame and saying, hey, in the next 3 months, I mean, you can call it objectives if you want. Our main objectives are the following. And here I would also agree that this should be super concrete and should be explained and connected to our vision, obviously, but also to the company and the overarching goals, because that should help everyone in the team to use that as arguments and discussions, right? When something is not clear and you have 2 ways to go, and then you can call in your objective or your strategy or roadmap and say, hey, look, I mean, roadmap is easy, but look, this is the strategy. So way B looks much more connected to that strategy or to that objective.
Yeah. I agree. But also, I think because we are using the word mission in multiple ways, I think there's still a confusion there. So I want to give some examples. We have the company vision for Google that is to provide access to the world's information in one click. That's their vision. Their mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. So it's kind of like a target and why, and like the impact or the purpose. It's a little bit of a higher grounds than the mission. Which I don't think when we have a vision, for example, to make learning as enjoyable or as addictive as TikTok, next to that is not a higher purpose mission statement for the product. So that's what I meant. That what I'm not attesting is the teams when they have a team mission that, hey, that's a different thing.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, but that's also the reason why I would say you need to talk to your people, right? Yeah. And I would spend more time in talking to people than Googling for examples, because I also read all these kind of examples, right? You find them easily from Google, Microsoft, and so on, but they are always looking back, right? Or they can hire people who really spend time. But most times of our usual day is someone is stepping by and say, hey, we need a vision, come up with it. And you have 1,000 other things at the same time on your plate.
Exactly. And again, the example I said was a company mission, not a product mission or product vision. It was not a product related anything. It was not product vision. It was not product mission. It was only a company vision and mission, which I believe it's very different than the product vision. Product vision needs to guide you, needs to create a very clear image in your mind, and needs to be motivating and needs to be attainable.
Yeah, true. I agree. And I want to end with one practical tip I love to do. I can't remember if I mentioned it already, but whenever you wrote something like that, vision and purpose and your strategy or objectives, especially on vision, is it super helpful? Go to your favorite large language model and give them a prompt like, hey, roast my product vision. We're doing this and that. And don't be friendly. Give me the truth. I want to learn and I want to improve, and roast it as hard as you can. Something like that. And then the answer is so funny. If you like, I could read maybe one sentence from the last time I did it. So I just need to find it. Roast.
I never...
Yeah, I called it brutal business roasting.
Brutal business roasting. And I never thought to use GPT models for roasting me.
It is so nice. It answers... I will not say the purpose and the company. That's not the point here. But the answer is, this is the Swiss Army knife of corporate jargon. It's so vague. It could apply to a kindergarten, a yoga retreat, or Elon Musk's next venture. I love that a lot. That is so funny, and you are laughing and crying at the same time because it is also right. But then don't stop here. Continue and say, okay, I want to add the following points. This and that is important for me. And now with your roast and my additions, give me the vision.
Improve it. Okay.
Improve it. And then you get something and it is saying, hey, this is better because of this and that. And then you can take that and incorporate your own words and your perspective.
Nice. That's a good
funny
idea.
And useful.
Yeah. The best of both worlds. All right. We had a very, I think, good conversation now about the product vision.
Yeah, and I think we both have the impression there's so much more to say. Yes. But as usual, this is the icing on your product management career. And I hope we inspired you to think about these or that. So let us know in the brand new Spotify comments. Man, they hooked me so hard. Was this wrapped already? But anyway, you can drop us a line or recommend some guests or some topics. We are super keen to continuously hearing from you, and have a great day.
Yes, and please give us a rating. Make sure to follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. Thank you.
Bye.